Let's take the golf cart and see if Riggs wants to act like a complete psycho. Fuck, Riggs. Buddy. All right, today is August 3rd for reference, and my contractor said he thinks we should be done with the entire new shop build by mid-October. So pretty exciting, and wanted to show you guys the progress. This is how far we've come. So yeah, we actually haven't done anything yet because the county won't let us do anything. I take that back. We got septic perk test holes done. I did those myself. We got septic approval for like the actual best, easiest system, cheapest system to make. So that's something, but the rest of it, it's actually no guarantee now that we can even build a shop. Contractor still says he thinks we can get a permit, but I'm kind of having to cover all my bases and look at what a lot of you suggested of renovating the arena, which we can talk about that. But I actually kind of like the better option of the sketchy former woodworking shop. Has some really cool stuff that I didn't know about, and it has some really sketchy stuff that I didn't know about when I first bought it. So we can look at that too. So this is actually the oldest building on the property, and when I bought the place, I thought this was going to be a tear down. This was a fairly functional woodworking shop before. Let me just show you. This started out as an old pole building, and they added on this lean-to section. You can see there, they cut this out. And some of you that have a good eye for construction already can see the problem, which I didn't notice till just recently. But let me show you this. So if you look up at that truss, you can go down to the brace or whatever you want to call it, and then the post, and then it terminates right there. Some of you realize that this post is helping to hold up the building, and it's supposed to go all the way down. And if it can't, you're supposed to have a pretty substantial header up there. And they just like a chainsaw, they just hacked it out. It's still standing in their defense, but I don't think that it's engineered that way. The whole reason they cut this out is so they could have access to this cobbled on little lean-to structure here, which also has some interesting engineering. Because if you look, these trusses they put up, somebody's gonna correct me for saying the wrong word, I think they're trusses. Those just go over there into some plywood and nothing underneath most of them. Like one of them has some 2x4s under it. But again, my understanding is that all that load needs to be supported, and they're supported basically with like maybe framing nails and maybe not even that, probably drywall screws. And like I said, I'm not exactly an engineer, and these do at least have those little hanger straps, but half of them are even coming out of those. All right, so that was some of the bad, and let me show you some of the good, because this was actually a really kind of pleasant surprise. I just found out that this building actually has three-phase power, and if you don't know what three-phase power is, it's basically like the industrial power, and I'm very surprised this has it, but I suppose I shouldn't have been, because when I toured the place, they had this really cool old planer. It was like a 30-inch wide planer from like 1909 or something, and it was a three-phase planer, and I was like, it must have just been a collectible, but as it turns out, they were probably at one point actually using it. Also, the water pump for the irrigation system is a three-phase pump, and I was confused how they're running that. But again, all makes sense now that we got three-phase.
Got a nice hum to it.
Yeah.
Is that?
I asked my brother-in-law, the electrician. He said the hum is normal, and so we're okay there. Because I asked ChatGPT, and GPT actually says the hum is not normal. But anyway, hum is normal. I don't know if anything else is normal.
So square footage wise, is this even remotely close to what you were hoping for?
No, well, I'd say remotely close. I think with that little lean-to, it's maybe 5,000 square feet. So okay. We're working at 1,200 right now. Okay. So it's better than that. Having this, being able to save tens of thousands of dollars with the power would be awesome. It's not an open concept. Don't mind the swallows. They got nests up there. So there's a lot of negatives to it, but again, it's significantly better than what we have now. This is a PSA to any homeowner. This is the best like $6 tool you can have, because you can check to see if any wires are hot. So you just touch something and it's hot, because we have some rogue wires around here that I wanted to test, like these ones. Hey, look at that. Responsible homeowners. Now, sometimes when you just touch metal quickly, it'll turn on, but it'll stay on. And actually, we haven't showed anybody the pond yet. And this 3-phase power, I believe, originally was hooked up to the pond pump out there. So let's go see if we can, or if we have power out there. Good job, buddy. Room for Scott. So I haven't showed this area yet. This here is a little full of blackberries and trees right now, but this was like an irrigation pond. So we have that 3-phase power from the shop, comes to here, and at one point went to there. It's a 15 horsepower motor, but I was curious if we actually have power out here. So, I don't know if that's normal or not. It says off. Okay. So we have power. I'm gonna say that's good. These bare wires right here are fully hot right now. Like, and when I say bare wire, I mean like actual bare wire. Actually, just had another quick panic attack of there's some bare wires at the intake at the river. So let's check and see if those are hot before we shut it off. There's actually some wires in a field now that I think about it that I've never known what they are. So let's check those too. All right, it's grown up a little bit since we were here last. What's your prediction? Do you think these are hot or not?
No, I don't. Well, actually, yeah, I do.
I do too. I think because the pond one was on, I bet they're on. Oh, it scared me at first.
Are we good? We safe?
We're safe. Right here from electricity.
Ugh, looks very stagnant.
Is our river. Looks like a Texas river. Just so you know, Oregonians are always very judgmental of Texas rivers, and this is the one that I live on.
If your golf cart is such a efficient farm vehicle, why are we walking?
Shut up. Greg, you're not supposed to look at the camera. All right, here's our last bit of rogue wires. It is not hot. I think this is just the 3-phase though. So I feel like I just pulled that. Also, in the video, I called these fuses, and everybody who commented had a very good laugh with that because yes, they're breakers. I'm embarrassed. So apologies for that, anybody. It's quieter. I really think that's the 3-phase.
What if it's still on when we get out there?
If the pond is still on?
Yeah.
That'll be exciting. I would have no idea where to start if that's on. All right, you think it's on?
Kinda.
I'm actually pretty confident it's not.
Now touch it for real.
I don't know why I still don't want to do that. Yeah, no, I knew it. So we at least know definitively that breaker box, the power comes from there to here.
One of them does.
Yeah. Yeah, feel good though. Learned something.
You might have noticed in this video that there are a couple of downed fence posts, and there is a good reason for this, and well, there are multiple reasons for this. I don't know if they're good or not, and one of them is I'm not gonna be keeping any livestock up there anyway. Second reason is those fences were for shit anyway, and third and probably most accurate reason is I got a new toy. I will be doing some dedicated farm equipment videos on some of the cooler equipment that I've gotten because I am having so much freaking fun that I can barely contain myself. I can also barely afford it because I'm pretty sure that all the tractor manufacturers and farm equipment manufacturers think that all farmers get subsidies, and apparently as it turns out you actually need to farm something to get paid by the government, but that's okay, and just for now I'm gonna have a couple of gaps in my fencing, and That's not the only thing I have gaps in, because I am notorious for having major gaps in my diet. Friends often told me that I would die of scurvy growing up, but now scurvy is no longer a concern of mine since I've started taking AG1 each morning. AG1 is over 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients, which basically means it's highly beneficial to people like me with terrible diets. And that's all fine, but it doesn't actually mean anything if it's not fast and easy to take. And AG1 is 1 scoop in cold water for me, done in about 15 seconds. And having the peace of mind I'm actually getting the nutrients my body needs is probably my favorite part of AG1. Another huge benefit is consistency. I travel, I work long hours, and my diet isn't always perfect, and AG1 helps me stay on track. Whether it's supporting my immune system or just giving me steady energy throughout the day, it's one less thing to worry about. So if you want to try it out, head to my link below or scan the QR code. You'll get a free welcome kit that includes a year's supply of vitamin D and 5 AG1 travel packs when you sign up. Again, just hit the link in the description to get started.
I think a big, more or less deal breaker for using this space as the new shop would be is if I can somehow open up these 2 rooms, because there's this big wall here that is load bearing, and I don't have the guts that previous owners had to just sawzall out posts to make more room. But if these were open, I feel like this would be a really nice space, or even if it was like, I don't know, many of the posts removed.
Have you been upstairs yet?
Upstairs?
Upstairs.
I have not been upstairs. Should we take a look?
Yeah.
It's another OSHA approved device. Feels surprisingly sturdy.
Anything cool up there?
What do you think? Three-phase power that might electrocute me. Okay, we have some fans. I don't know what that is. Insulation. Children's chairs. So he's just concerning things, seeing things for children in places like this. And some lumber, Unistrut. Have you ever seen an MDF ceiling?
I don't think I have.
Can you think of a worse product to use in a wet environment? Guys, let me show you this.
Just straight up paper.
Somebody online described MDF as having the water resistant properties of a graham cracker. And this is about right.
Ugh.
Maybe not the best thing to use when you know you have a leaky roof. Also have some interesting stuff in here. I think this was like an actual freezer at one point. Maybe this could be like where I thought the horse watering thing was an eye wash. I think it's an eye wash. And everybody commented on it. But doesn't this look like a freezer?
It does. It does look insulated.
And also, this here, I haven't told you this yet. Somebody commented on this that does furniture restorations on the last video, and they're gonna drive down from Canada to pick this up and restore it. And they got their work cut out for them.
Make sure there's nothing good in the drawers.
Oh yeah. No, now I gotta know because it's locked. They're all.
Are they locked or just jammed? They're not gonna want it if you keep ripping.
Yeah, look at this. This is like it's a freezer door. Right? Look at the handle.
That's where they kept the bodies.
You and the bodies. Always talking about the bodies. Look at this. Place is paying for itself already. Look at that. This is the biggest surprise I've seen here yet. Also, not sure how weather tight that gap is up there. See the daylight? So I know it doesn't look like it, but the more I've thought about this section, the more I kind of like it. Talking to Malecki about the office space and the shop space and all that, and he said that he really regrets having the offices and the workshop in the same area. So even if we did build the other building and kind of built this one out, it would be nice to potentially have this as like just the office space. But as you can see, it needs a little bit of work. So my understanding is they were actually using these offices as horse stalls. They have the rubber mats at least. They didn't pour any floor in here. And there's shit all over the walls. I guess I'm just hoping that there's horse stalls, not daycare or something. But I just I need to get like an actual contractor here to find out like what it would cost to put floors in and real wiring and things like that. Because this is too much of an open concept for me. Oh my God. That's I think like pure mold. Like I've only, up until just now, I've only ever seen like partial mold.
Is where all mold comes from.
I think it was. This is
the birthplace of mold.
It is. It's like one of the movies when you like get the head monster. And it's like, oh, this is where all the other ones come from. This is the upside down in Stranger Things. You get that reference?
Yes, I do.
All right.
You could save money on some dust collection.
Yeah. No, I said this guy was a pretty legit woodworker or cabinet maker. I don't know how legit of an engineer he was, as this is what he came up with. But I guess it's very nature friendly. We have lots of birds' nests in here.
So how much would this cost to actually make usable?
That's what I have absolutely zero frame of reference for. Because if it was like $75,000, it probably would be worth it, for 5,000 square feet of good space. But if it's $500,000, like I'd rather have a house, So I'll probably talk to some contractors about what needs to be done, like those unsupported posts, things like that. But you gotta figure something out. As a follow-up to my other video, when I said this was an eye wash, some people actually thought that I was faking my ignorance, but no, I genuinely thought it was an eye wash. This, apparently horses or cows push down on it and it gives them water. So yeah, I'm learning all the time. This was the unexpected star of the first tour we did, was this fridge. Everybody's freaking out saying these are like the best fridges ever made and they bet it still works and they want me to restore this. And I hadn't even considered that until then.
I'm gonna flip a switch, hold on. Test your wires.
Yeah, we have bare wires here. Okay. It does have some pretty good dents. Loose hoses in there, so I don't know if it actually functions. I don't know if this, hold on a second. I wonder if this is like a kegerator or something. They just it looks like they just drilled into the side of it.
Office kegerator.
If that'll help your productivity, I'm in. Yeah, could be a cool project. Oh, the toilet that everybody was appalled at from the first video that we don't want to go back into that room. I want to show you guys the septic for that.
You got rid of your cowboy boots.
Oh God, cowboy boots fucking suck. I did. These, if anybody's wondering, these are the boots that people that don't act like they're playing dress up every day of their life wear. With the little laces back and forth. Real boots. See what kind of comments that gets me. So this is legal because they had the caution tape here. This isn't from me. The toilet is right on the other side of this wall, and the septic system was right here. Actually, yeah, no, sorry, it went to here. So it went about 8 feet. There was at one point a metal pipe, or not, a metal drum buried, and that was the extent of the septic system. So the metal drum has since eroded or rusted away. So it was literally just septic going 10 feet out and into the soil, and that was it.
So this is all poop soil?
This is well fertilized.
Gross.
Yeah. The outside of the building isn't any better than the inside. It's probably worse. I did have a guy go through and changed every screw in the whole building. That part over there is new plywood. Okay, I should rephrase. There's plywood because there was literally holes open from the outside. From the inside, there was 12 inches of just open air. So we added plywood, added new sheet metal, added new screws across the whole roof. So hopefully it won't leak, which would be nice. But I mean, it's just so freaking terrible. Every seam is worse than the last. I don't know, do you want to do a montage of shitty stuff? This lean-to is sagging like an old sofa. There was another 4-foot gap there. That whole ridge there is basically open to the outside. The plywood is just terrible everywhere. Rafters, I've never seen them laid flat. So that doesn't seem right. The whole thing, again, it's open to the air. There's alien cocoons in there. I suspect those windows were an afterthought or some surplus deal they had that they just installed. 12 inches of air gap underneath that door. That's as far as that door will close. This whole door looks like it was cut out with just tin snips, but 3-phase power.
I decided that I could use a little bit of professional help here, so I called the contractor for my big shop project. This is Trophine, and he's been helping me out a ton, and most of it he's not even getting paid for. He's just helping me because he's a nice guy. So he knows a lot of things, so he's gonna walk through this shitty shop with me and tell me if it's even worth salvaging.
Before we start, I just came from the dentist like I told you. Oh, and I can barely talk. Okay. This will be largely voiceovered. This will be largely voiceovered. I can't do it.
So Trophine and I spent about an hour just walking through the shop, and I'll spare you having to listen to everything he told me, but just know if he's pointing at something here, it's bad, and if his lips are moving, it's expensive. But eventually, this was his recommendation.
Honestly, if it was me, I would just go, let's go new structure.
I can see about 400,000 on something like that, right?
All right, good news. I have come to a final decision on the shop, and I've actually had more of a final decision thrust on me, and I swear this was not part of the original video when we started this, but the great news is I'm getting divorced. No, that is the bad news. The bad news is I'm getting divorced. The great news is I have no choice but to renovate that shithole shop because I have nowhere else to woodwork. So that is the plan right now. I'm gonna kind of shoestring budget, do the best we can with that existing shop, and hopefully make it pretty decent until the big shop gets built. So we'll have a lot more content on the shop renovation and maybe even a little bit more content on the divorce, so like and subscribe for both of those.
So are you doing okay?
Oh God, no. But what do we always say?
I don't know.
Disasters make the best content.
Yeah.